Good morning everyone. So this is part 8 of our tutorial. As you can see, I went a bit further. Yesterday I tried to record the videos and then it crashed while I was doing it, so it didn't save properly. But what I added was the staircase here on this side, and I added a path here. And if you remember what we did in earlier videos with the streets, it was the same thing. So I've just went into a plan view, bring the images and use the polyline, went over like the path like this, just roughly doing it just to show what I did. And then you can create a copy by pressing Ctrl D, then press Ctrl again to get that little plus sign, and I paste it on top of it. So now I get two lines on top of each other, and I'm just gonna offset all edges to create the path. So, and then here you can just slide it to the distance that you want, 2 meters. And when I get those two lines, I'm just gonna close them, close it here. And now that we have a closed curve, we can use that as reference to create a slab. So now I'm clicking a slab and pressing spacebar to activate the magic wand and click inside. So now I got a slab, and let's go see in 3D view. That's the slab that I created, and then you can pull it into position, and from there you use the solid element. I'm just going to create a mesh just to remind you what we did. So I'm just going to select the property of that mesh, quickly create a rectangle, go back, and gonna give it some height, like so. And what we do is change that to that color and solid element operation. So the street is gonna be the tag, the mesh is gonna be the operator, and we want to subtract with upward extrusion so that everything that's above the mesh is gonna be deleted or hidden. So you can see it shows here, but then now we need to use the street as an operator and the mesh as a target, and we're gonna do subtraction. So now you can see the streets here. So that's what I did to create that path here. As you can see, I can select the little path, and of course it's following the contour. And one thing that I did was to kind of lower everything, because in the previous video the existing contour that I had from SketchUp was a bit too high, and as you can see here I already starting to bring it down just so it kind of reflects what's on site. Like if we take a little guy here, go to 3D, take that little guy and try to pose it in one of the paths, you can see that the slope was a bit steeper than what we originally have on a SketchUp model. And let's go back to ARCHICAD, and that is just by, just going to delete that. That is just done by rechanging the value of the mesh. So this one is at 10,000. I think this one should be was set higher. Oh, 9,000. Oops. So this one's 11,000. So this we can just put it back to 8,000. 8,000. And as you can see, this is going to drop when it's going to be updated. Yep, it might take a while. Usually the better computer or graphic card you have, the faster it will render, but as you can see, it dropped. So we could continue and doing it for all the way here, but for the sake of this tutorial, we're just gonna keep going and maybe start to create a staircase on here. So let's go back to the photos and see if we can get any closer. Let's bring that little guy and let's bring it around here. So we can see there's like a, oh, we can go up. So there's the staircase, there's like a round semicircle platform. So there's this one staircase, one level, two level for the planters, and then we're gonna set a staircase here. So we're just gonna do that. We're gonna add those staircase, and if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, about 16 steps, or maybe we can just let's see. This one is smaller, so maybe we're just gonna take the same staircase, gonna bring copies here. What about this one? How many steps does he have? Let's just take this one. So go back into the floor plan view and make a copy. I'm going to turn it around and place it roughly around there. So this staircase that we're going to do, and it's actually aligned with the staircase here. So should be around there, and yeah, I guess the path needs to be adjusted to be around here as well. So let's just add some steps. So we're gonna edit the stairs. We're gonna just modify what's selected. Press save, and we see about 16 steps. 2 meters. Let's just keep all the same. Press OK. OK, and we're just gonna drag it down. And we should have another staircase on the side, which is this one. And so it's just align with the back of this. And as you can see, our curve needed to be shifted a little bit. I'm just gonna move a little bit. But then those are just a guide. We need to move those ones. So let's try to do that in 3D. So you can just select this, and because it wasn't actually showing on our ground floor, because I think they are set on the sea level, so you just have to make sure they show on all stories. Take some times. And now if you go back to our ground floor, as you can see, it's here. So now this is the thing that you want to change, and just gonna roughly put them into place. And voila, and this one as well. Maybe we'll try it here. It's really up to you how exact you want to be, but I think it's so good. So now what we're going to do is to create the row of planters and maybe readjust the topo so that the bottom of the staircase touch the ground. So right now, one thing I like to do when I work in 3D is to turn off the transparency. So I think it's 3D window settings and the sun shadows. So now it's much faster to work in. Just gonna drop that. So that is in line with this. Sometimes it will be hard to you wouldn't have like a hotspot at the top here, so it's hard to be accurate, so you just do your best to click on the corner at the top here and press shift to lock it to an axis and bring it down. Even then it's not even at the correct position. So how can we fix that? One way of to be real precise is to go into the plan view and create a section. Where's the section tool? Section tool. And just create a section here. And go inside. And as you can see, it was a little bit off. And here, the hotspot point appeared. So Control D, and it's easier to lock them into place. Now if you go back into 3D view, because you knew that those two staircases are the same, so you can actually absorb the properties and just Control Alt and inject into this one. And let's check. So you can see the position is the same, like the height. And now maybe we can create another slab that's about the same as this. So just go into 3D view, create a slab on top, and just gonna drag it to here. And I'm just gonna change the height so it sits underneath. And maybe I don't need to have it all the way down. Anyway, what I could do is to just do a solid element operation. That's going to be the target, that's going to be the operator, and I'm going to remove everything that's below the surface of the mesh. Execute. Okay, for some reason it didn't remove everything, so maybe it's actually best to just drag it to here. Yeah, sometimes it's weird, doesn't work all the time. So now I think I need to, let's go back to 3D view. I'll try to make that planter here. And so there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the 5th steps, that's when I have my planter. I just want to see how it is on the other side. Let's go on the other side. And there's a planter here as well. So here, touch the 2nd steps. Oh well, we'll see where it connects. So now I'm gonna create a copy. I'm gonna drop it until I reach the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here, and I'm gonna pull it back. Oops. Control Z to undo. make sure that you select the offset edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So around here, you can get a bit closer, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's this one, and I need to shift it up. As you can see, even here it's a bit hard to do in 3D. So maybe I'm going to try to make it closer to here and then shift up directly from there. Make sure it's on stretch height. The point doesn't appear. So what you can do is just the same thing as we did before. Push in here, and I'm going to take that section, bring it here, open it, and now you'd see this, and you can stretch it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 is actually here, and set to here. Which it's in the roof. Okay, maybe that's why I set it to ground floor maybe, and pull it back up. And now we go to ground floor, should be there. And we'll pull it to here. Oh, good. And so how long is that? 95. I'll do the same here. And I'm gonna pull it toward there. It feels that it's a bit higher, but just leave it for now. And so I think we're going to pull that back in here. Same for that. So now I'm just gonna add a contour line here and a contour line near here to create that surface. It's because I want to lift that edge. So I'm just gonna delete this path. I don't need that anymore. It was just used as a guide. And now I'm just going to create a new polyline that's going to be right here. And just break here. I'm going to select the mesh, going to activate, and just going to hover that line that I just made. Fit bridges. So now I get some extra points. And now if I select those two, what height do I want this to be? I want it to be, let's go back. Actually, this is going to be the bottom part. If I'm going to flip that and bring it down so I can know exactly what's the bottom of this. So it's actually 12,142. So now you go back to your mesh and you just go over those points that you just made. So 12,142. Press OK. So all those points that selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 should have dropped down. So and then when it's update, it should show at the bottom. Okay, weird. Okay, so that's correct. Let's go back here. So that's the height that we want, 14,842. Let's quickly check something. Calculators. So 4,842, 2.7. Okay, so I think it's because our mesh is on the sea level, this is on the ground level, and I can expect that's a story level between the two at 2.7. 2.7. So I think that's why we have that gap. So maybe even those shouldn't be even as a ground floor, should be on the basement. But that's why you have the gap. So maybe we're just gonna do it on the 3D view. Sometimes it might take longer, or if we know that it's 14, what is it again, 14, let's just check after it's done. Actually it's faster to do here. So it's copy, and what if I say apply to all? Will it move the other ones? Oh yeah, it did move the other ones. So now it's going to update. I think it's much faster to do in the 2D view, and then everything's going to be updated at the same time. Okay, I have to unselect everything, because otherwise it only show what's selected. Come on. I was behind the wall. So as you can see now, the contour has moved, and I just realized actually the slab here, the bottom of it should have been the bottom of the staircase. So now I'm just gonna redo what I did. I'm gonna change this one, move it to here so I can know the exact height. And then maybe I'll add like a wall here just to hide the sides. So this is apply to all, deselect, yeah, that looks better, like the size is a bit similar to here. Okay, cool. And now maybe we can add a line here as well, so that this is going to touch here. Maybe we can just do that at the staircase. So just going to create a new polyline here and here. Select the mesh, activate, select the bottom part, because we made a line, and now we can go into 3D view. And I'm just going to select the 4 new points that I have here, and just change the height and lift it to here. Oh, I would love a new computer. And this is going to be to here. So as you can see, there's like some issues with the geometry. I think that's why it's important to maybe add more points, or maybe I shouldn't have just made the line at this staircase. Yeah, maybe I should have continued all the way there. Yeah, it's not really smooth. So maybe if I try to add one more point here. Because here it's okay. Let's go in 3D. In 2D, I mean. So it's because this point is here. What if I just drag this over there? I just want to see if it does anything. I'm kind of cheating a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's allowed, it's your model, do whatever you want, and in the end of the day, this is just the context, is on, doesn't really matter. Oh, yeah, it's much nicer. Okay, now I'm just gonna add that little semicircle, which is just at the bottom. It's about like maybe 1.5, 1.5, or like this distance times 2. So press M to get the ruler. So it's 2 meters, so it's 2, 2, 2, so it's 6 meter total. I'm gonna take the circle tool, use the center of here. So the radius is gonna be 3000 to get a circle of 6. And oops, make sure that you follow that line. And press 1T. It's okay. Gonna close it. And now I'm gonna use that. Maybe I'm just gonna put it aside because I don't want. Because if I use the magic wand, it will take in consideration the path as well. I'm just gonna put it aside. Use the magic wand to create the shape. Put it back into place. and now it's going through 3D. It's a bit too high. Just drag it down to the bottom, and oops. Okay, back to it. So that's what we have. Let's see in the 3D. It's also a bit flat. So either we try to kind of raise the side so it connects to here, which I think will be better. First, just remove that and make it the same color as this. So we use stone, sandstone, and I'm gonna add some points to the mesh that follows this. Activate, click on the curve, press OK to create those points, and so now I'm gonna go back here. It might be I should have just stayed in the 2D. So now if you click on the mesh, you'd see we have all this, and we want all those points to be similar to this, or a bit lower. So let's just check. This one is set at this, and maybe I'm just gonna 15. Just press OK to it for now. Let's go back. No, this should go all the way up to here. And then maybe I'm just gonna raise that slab so it touched the top of the step. Actually, that's quite good. Yeah, actually I'm pretty happy with this. Maybe I'm just gonna increase a little bit the height. And here, maybe. Oops. I'm just gonna go here, maybe 2100. Oh, because it's going down, so this is the one that I have to move. Yep. And then maybe actually just gonna go. Maybe it's just too much. Yep, like this. Cool. Maybe we just gonna remove that, and we're gonna change the side. It's gonna be some type of stone work, and the top. For now, we're just gonna put some grass. It's okay. And do we need the little walls? Or is it the side? So the side has like that stone wall as well. Just gonna add that in. Or maybe instead of having a wall, we can just add a slab to here. Do something here. So I'm just adding a polygon. Oops. I think it's because I didn't actually, like when I started, it took the staircase as a reference and not the slab. Yep. So in 3D. So now what we can do, we can just do a solid element operation. So that's going to be target. Those two are going to be the operator, and everything that's above those staircase is going to be removed. And maybe we can do the same for this. So we're going to use the slab that's here. The slab is not showing. Let's check. It's on the roof. Okay, I don't know. Just put it in the basement. Yeah, it's not really tidy the way I placed my my element. I think the slab and everything that's under here should be set into the basement. So one's going to the basement, and just have to readjust and use the bottom of that slab as a reference to put it back in the same place. And yeah, take this one, drag it, maybe this one, this corner. Oops. So sometimes you don't see it anymore, so we're just going to hide the mesh and then pull it back up. It's a bit slow. So it's always better to work in 2D. So if you don't work in floor plans, you can work in section to move element up and down. And this one we're just gonna add a point. Gonna add a point on the other side, and I can offset the edge to create the new polygon. And I feel that it didn't add the points that I wanted to. You only added here. Yeah, so I'm just gonna add another point here, and so I can push that back in. Offset the edge, put it back, and same as we did before, we're just going to do a solid element operation. Select that slab as a target, and select the staircase as a operator. So this is going to be the target. This is going to be operator and upward extrusion. As you can see, like there's a little gap here. So instead of maybe changing the slabs so that I can raise the one that's raise this, maybe I can just increase the thickness of the staircase. So maybe select those two, edit stairs, and I'm gonna change this to, let's say, 400, and maybe we're gonna put the same 400. That's okay. Okay. Oh, we got something here. I could just sit. So now it's all good. Okay. So here you can see the operation hasn't been done well. I think if we go back closer, go to ground floor, and we select that slab, go super tight closer, you can see it actually is not below the staircase. So we just need to offset that edge so it's below. And if we go back in 3D, it will disappear. Cool. And maybe let's just change that surface as well, so that the size is going to be the same as stonework. I think we'll need to move the side here as well. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it for today. I'm just gonna try to clean that up tonight, and after that maybe we can move on. Maybe add some vegetation or something. But thank you for watching.